It was business as usual that day: balloons, laughter, games. But when it was time to cut the cake, it turned out that little Jimmy was missing. Everyone started looking for him, shouting his name, but to no avail. Suddenly, a low whisper came from under the table. It was Jimmy. He looked scared and whispered that he had seen the doll from his room move on its own and come toward him. No one believed him until an hour after the holiday resumed, when the same doll appeared in the center of the room, standing on a table among the presents. Everyone froze, looking at the doll. Its eyes were wide open and seemed to follow every movement in the room. Suddenly, the lights went out. The children screamed, and the adults tried to quickly find the source of the problem. When the lights came back on, the doll was gone. Panic increased when a rustling sound was heard from behind the curtains. One of the children pointed that way, and all eyes went to the window. There, behind the glass, the same doll appeared, smiling her sinister smile. A moment later, she was out of sight. Jimmy sobbed as his mother picked up the note. His father immediately closed the door and checked all the locks. A heavy silence hung over the house. Everyone realized that the night promised to be a restless one. Jimmy's mother put him to bed, never ceasing to reassure him that everything would be all right. She left a nightlight on in the room and opened the door slightly ajar, but just as she returned to the living room, there was a loud scream. Rushing into Jimmy's room, they saw the window slowly closing and the very same doll standing on the windowsill. The father grabbed the doll and threw it in the trash can behind the house. He walked around the house, checking every window and door, making sure everything was closed. But on his way back, he felt a cold wind blowing in from the basement. The basement was always locked, and they rarely went in there. Cautiously going down into the basement, his father noticed that an old chest that was usually locked was now open. Inside, it were old books and pictures and a few antique toys, including dolls similar to the one that had haunted Jimmy. He quickly closed the trunk and ran upstairs. When he returned to the living room, his family was already waiting there, all gathered together holding hands. They decided to spend the night in the same room so they could be together if something happened. The night passed restlessly, every sound making them jump up and down. In the morning, when the first rays of sunlight penetrated the room, they realized that the night had passed without further incident. But the relief was short-lived. When they went into the kitchen, a new doll was waiting for them on the table, an exact copy of the one they had seen in the basement, only this one smiled even wider and more sinister. From that moment on, they realized that the problem was deeper than it seemed at first glance. It was time to seek the help of paranormal experts to solve the mystery of the old house and its previous inhabitants, whose souls may not have found peace and continued their games with the new tenants.